welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where yes, we are doing Fog of War again today. My favourite kind of new puzzle type. This puzzle on screen is called Guess the Renban, and it's by GDC. And I did a GDC puzzle a couple of weeks ago, which was fantastic. So I'm hoping this one will be as good as that one. It's got a really, really brilliant rule set where basically there are hidden 5-cell renbans in the grid. And that's, I mean, there's some Kropki dots as well, but that's basically the extent of the rules. I don't know how hard it is, but you can see we get one cell revealed to us. And the idea is, if you've not seen Fog of War Sudoku before, that we can deduce something using the white cells. And when we place correct digits in the grid, so say I worked out what this cell was, then that would reveal the fog in the surrounding 3x3 area. It's a fantastic innovation, absolutely made for solving Sudoku on computers. Yeah, I basically love these puzzles. So this is what we're going to be trying to solve in a moment or two's time. I have loads of news for you today, though. The huge news is that Line Sudoku, which is our brand new app, may be out at the time this video releases. I know that our app developer was sending it over to Apple and Android today, and there's a review process that they have to go through, but it could be out. And the way to get it, by the way, is you download the free app, which is it's called something like Cracking the Cryptic, and then there will be a pack that you can buy. I think it's normally about $4.99. I should know how much it is, but I don't, I'm afraid. And that will reveal these line Sudoku puzzles made by the likes of Phistomefel and Qodec, and it's just absolutely a wonderful, wonderful set of handcrafted puzzles. It's called Line Sudoku because all of the puzzles have lines in them, a bit like this one, in fact. And yeah, we've been working on this for, well over a year. It might be getting on for 2 years, so this is a huge thing. So we recommend it to you wholeheartedly. Also going on, yeah, I meant to mention the book, Cracking the Cryptic's Cracking the Cryptic's Greatest Hits Volume 2. There is a little screenshot there of the sort of thing that looks like. Our print run is about to be ordered, so if you haven't got a copy of it and you'd like a copy, we are expecting to be able to deliver by Christmas. Please let us know ASAP. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen and also in the video description if that's of any interest to you. And then on the 1st of October, which is coming upon us with dramatic speed, at 4 p.m. UK time, we're going to be releasing the Skunkworks new Sudoku hunt, a trick-or-treat themed 6x6 Nexpeditions. And there are lots and lots of puzzles in this one. This is an absolutely fantastic hunt. So yeah, that's coming out on Patreon in just a couple of days' time. So that's all the news around new stuff. I've also got some birthdays to tell you about today. I'm going to start with Esmeralda. Esmeralda has turned the big 50 today. Congratulations on that. Is it congratulations to turn the big 50? I'm not sure. But we actually had 2 emails, Esmeralda, about your birthday. Your friend Anna Marie, who we've read out the name of many times on the channel before. I think it's Anna Marie rather than Anne Marie. I think I've got that wrong in the past. I hope I'm not getting it wrong today as well. But Anna Marie also turned 50 earlier in the year, and I think Esmeralda and Anna Marie are spending the day together today. Maybe it's a bit of spa treatments, if I understand correctly, and chocolate cake. So fantastic. But also your friend Danica wrote to us as well, Esmeralda, and said you'd appreciate a shout out. So lots of love going in the direction of the Netherlands today. And happy birthday to you. Also to Joost, it's your birthday. From your boyfriend Chris. I understand, Joost, you are a big fan. So I hope you get to celebrate with chocolate cake, of course. And next, Sarah, the future Supreme Court Justice, I am told. And this is from your roommate, dance partner, and fellow Saturday Supper hostess, Serena. I hope Serena, I'm saying your name correctly. So yeah, the two of them are at law school together, sharing a room. And Sarah, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday. And then finally, Sam, it's your birthday. This message just came in, literally just the moment before I started the webcam. And you wanted to shout out to all the LGBTQ plus fans of Cracking the Cryptic, and also to your co-worker Max, who you've just discovered also watches the channel. So fantastic. And Sam, I hope you have a great day today. And that's all the birthdays. Now we get on with some solving. Let's have a look at Guess the Renban by GDC and see what is in store for us. The rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. The grid is covered in fog, and placing correct digits reveals clues in the surrounding 3x3 area. Digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, i.e. one is double the other. You can actually see there are some black dots digits here. So if this was an 8, that would have to be a 4. If this was a 4, this would have to be a 2 or an 8. So you just have to make sure that one digit is double the other. Digits separated by a white dot, of which there are none visible. Imagine there was a white dot between these two squares, and this was a 2, then this would have to be a 1 or a 3 to be consecutive. Not all possible dots are given, so imagine that these two squares were a 1 and a 2, so they were consecutive. That's absolutely fine, even if there's no dot between them, of either colour actually. Because all we're being told is positive information about dominoes that do have dots. And digits on a line form a set of consecutive non-repeating digits. These digits can appear in any order, and all lines are exactly 5 cells long, don't branch, don't share cells with other lines, and only move orthogonally. So orthogonal movement means that we couldn't have a line. Actually, I can draw lines, can't I? Let's try and draw a purple line. So imagine we have found a line and it started here. What it can't do is do that, because that is not an orthogonal movement from one cell to another. An orthogonal movement is along a long edge, so we have to move or to cross a long edge. So that's an orthogonal movement. So we could have a line that did this, for example. That would be legitimate. And all lines are exactly 5 cells long, so let's imagine that is a line. I'm going to use small digits, because if I inadvertently put the correct digit into any of these cells, it'll reveal fog, and that's cheating. I'm not doing it. So imagine this cell was a 1. Then we would know that this line had to contain the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because the digits on the line have to be consecutive with one another and not repeat. And they could go in any order. So we could do something like this, and that would be a possible line in this puzzle. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And what I'm going to do first is go back to that line tool, because we can see that we can draw at least a little bit of the line that's emerging from the fog here in row 7, column 7. And we've got 2 black dot digits. So what do we know about that? Right. Okay. So we do know what this digit is. How do we know, I hear you say? Well, a little bit of knowledge of black dots is important. So the only valid black dot digits in the world of Sudoku are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. And you can see that because if you try 5, 7, or 9 into those squares and try and work out what the digit here is, which is either double or half 5, 7, or 9, you're either going to end up with numbers like 3.5, or you're going to end up with a number big that's 10 or larger, and they aren't Sudoku digits. So we need this digit to be low, or we need low. We need it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8. But there's lots of things it can't be, because we can't repeat digits in these squares. So 3 and 6 only have the partners of themselves. If you put 3 here, both of these digits would be 6, and that would be repeating the 6 on the line, which is against the rules. So we can't put 3 or 6 there. We certainly can't put 8 there, because that's going to put double 4 on the line. We can't put 1 there, because that's going to put 2 on the line into those squares. So we're left with 2 and 4. But if we put 4 in order to make sure these are different, One of these will be 2 and one of these will be 8. And we can't connect 2 and 8 on a 2 and 8 on a 5-cell line because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all the digits we've got. We've used them up, and we still need to 7 and 8 in order to make a consecutive sequence. So I suspect the start here is going to be to write a 2 into this cell as Maverick takes off to fly past. And look, this has absolutely revealed loads of stuff. These are now a 1-4 pair. Oh, okay. And now there is a 1 on this line. So we know the contents of the line. It's got to be the digits 1 to 5, and we mustn't have a repeat. So these 2 digits now are both connected by white dots to 3 and 5. But this digit can't be 2 because we've already got a 2 in the box. So those digits have to be from 4 and 6, and they're a pair. And then we're on a bit of a roll here because this white dot, I can instantly tell you, has to have an 8 on it. If you can't see why that is, just pause the video for a moment because it's a little bit of parity and the nature of a white dot. A white dot contains a consecutive pair. And if you think about it, all consecutive pairs consist of an odd and an even number. And if you look at the box here, 2, 4 and 6 have already departed the scene. They are not available for this white dot domino. And the only other Sudoku digit that's even is 8, so there must be an 8 on here. So I suppose this is from 7, 8 and 9. And okay, and this also, look, is a purple line. It's a purple. Yeah, okay, so I can tell you, I can't tell you much more than I know the direction that this now moves. It doesn't go downwards. And again, it might be worth just pausing the video to see if you can see why that's the case. It doesn't go downwards. For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations. It doesn't go downwards, because if it does go downwards, it's going to have to do that. But this line, it has an 8 on it. So we immediately know it must have a 6 on it, because it's consisting of consecutive digits. And where's it going to get a 6 if it's turned down here? It can't get a 6 because the 6 in the box is not on this line. So it must go up. And then it's got to go up again. And then it's got, so yeah, in fact we know its shape absolutely exactly. So probably it's this digit that we need to think about, but let me just mull this over for a moment. I mean, that digit, yeah, that's 4 or 6. It's the same as this. It can't be 2, because you can't put 2 and 8 on the same 5-cell line. I mean, actually, all 5-cell lines have to contain a 5. Which is almost interesting. I can't see how to do that, but that's simply because if you imagine the digits 1 to 9 laid out in front of you and you slice 5 consecutive digits, wherever you cut that slice, you're always going to include a 5 in the string. One way to see that is if you start with 1, you're going to get as high as 5, and if you start as high as 9 and go downwards, you're still going to hit the 5 with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So there's definitely a 5 on this line. And so if that's a 5, that's a 5. But if that's a 5, then I'm not sure we know where the 5 goes on this line. It's got 8 on it, so it's definitely got 7 on it. But the 7 could be on the dot. It's definitely got 6 on it. So the 6 is definitely in one of these 2 squares, isn't it? That feels like that's worthy of a pencil mark. We will award a pencil mark for that. Hang on. So how do we do this then? If we okay, no, it's much simpler than I was thinking. That's actually lovely. It's lovely. This is the sort of step that I really admire when constructors put it in their puzzles, because it's, when you see it, you think, well, why didn't I see that immediately? And yet you don't, or I don't. And it's very pretty. This digit can't be a 3. Because if it is a 3, what digit are you putting in both of those squares? Well, the answer is 4. But you can't put 4 in both of these squares, because then you can't put a 4 on this line. Isn't that lovely? I think that's lovely. So that's 5, I think. Yes, so that's 3. Ooh, goodness me, what's going on there? That looks... Well, that's immediate. I can see something immediate about that, but let's come back to that in a second. Let me just think about... At least one of these is now forced to be a 6. Because we can't, again, we can't have 2 4s on this line. Ah, this is the 5 now on the line. We mentioned that before. We have to put 5 on the line somewhere. And do I now know what this digit is? If that's 4, then the line can't have 9 on it. So that's going to be 7, 8, 4, and that's going to be 6. So if that's 4, that's 6. If that's 6, ugh. The thing is, that could still be 8, 9. That could be 7. Or that could be 7, 8, and then that could... 7, 8, that could be 4 or 9. This digit is horrible. It's got loads of options. 3. Okay, 3 is down here. 1. Right, these digits are 1, 3, and whatever is not used on this dot. Can we get that digit? I'm just thinking that digit sees the entirety of this line, doesn't it? It also sees those squares. So that digit in the corner is 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are out of bounds. It can't possibly be 7 because there must be a 7 on here. It can't be 8 because we know there's an 8 on here. But we don't know whether there's a 9 on here, so it could perhaps be 9. Bother. Okay, no, that was less profitable than I was hoping. All right, well, okay, I can see something about these lines. Now, remember, we're looking for 5-cell lines, so I don't think any of these can join together, can they? That was my initial instinct when I saw them, but maybe that's... Let's just think about that for a moment. We can see that they all go like that. So clearly, yeah, I mean, this can't join up. That's going to be a 4-cell line. So that's got to continue. This can't join up by exactly the same logic. Now these can't join up, or we've got a 6-cell line. Okay. Oh, this is much easier. 3 has to join to 4. There we go. Here we go. Okay, I was. That 4 sees that one. There we go. 4. Oh, it's not doing anything. It's not. That's. Hang on. This. We're going to get this now. I'm sure we are. No. All right. Okay. No. that's so annoying. You naughty puzzle. Okay. I don't think I can do that after all. Well, what on earth am I meant to do then? So, all right. It must be this again. We've got this sort of triangular arrangement of. Of digits here. Now what about... It's quite difficult. If anything has to have a 4 on it, it's quite difficult. Well, 4 actually in box 9 is down there. So if that one had to have a 4 on it, it would have to immediately start going north and have a 4 here. Right, I see. Okay, this one can't go there, I'm going to claim. So I'm going to claim that's impossible. And the reason I think that's impossible is the following. Where do I now put 1 and 2 in this row? And the point is that I have to put one of those digits or both on this line now, because I can't hide them both in this square. And if you put 1 and 2 on this line, then it's a 5-cell line, so it's got to have 3 and 4 on it. But 3 and 4 can't go on it now because there can be a maximum of 1 cell that's not in this row, and that would have to be a Schrödinger cell and simultaneously contain 3 and 4. And in fact, look, the 4's down there. It just won't work, will it? So that's certainly not where the purple, this middle purple line goes. That's got to go up there. Now it can't join to this one, so that's got to go up there. And that... Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So this I think we're going to carry on with the same question then. Yeah. In this row, what happens if you don't put the 1 on the line? So imagine there was a 1 in one of these two squares. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for a weird reason, which is that if you do have a 1 here, then you've got a 1 there by Sudoku on this line. And what digit are we going to put on the line with the 1? You can't put anything, because by Sudoku, well, we know this line has to contain 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 now because it's got 1 on it. But these squares see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 through a mixture of nonsenses that are occurring in those cells. So you can't put 1 on here. So you can't put 1 on here. So there is a 1 on here, and that means that this line... This is so beautiful. This is so, I mean, it's ridiculously clever where these puzzles are going at the moment. Because now we know the contents of this line, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the 4 going on the line? Well, the only way it can get a 4 is if it goes there, which is therefore a 4. We now need a 3 on this line. That goes there. These squares are now 1, 2 and 5. That 4 is seeing that one, so that's a 6. Oh, that's actually probably not the digit we wanted on this one. I don't know, but look, we can extend our line here. We've got a new line that's emerged in the fog here. We can... What else can we do? I'm sure there's more we can do with this, because we've suddenly... Well, we know this line can't have 1 on it, actually. So the 1 in row 7 has to be over here. So this square's not a 1. Right, so these digits, just by Sudoku, are from 7, 8 and 9, aren't they? So where's the 5 on this line? And the answer is in one of these two cells. That's not as good as I was hoping. So there's a 5 in one of these 3 squares. I think 5s are probably a digit we need to keep track of. Now, oh wow! Look at the bottom row. This line doesn't turn up there now, so it must go in the corner. So this is a straight line. It doesn't have a 3 on it. So this line must have... Oh, no, it's obvious. It doesn't have a 3 on it, but it does have a 4 on it. So we know what this line is. This line is 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And these squares are not 4. That square's not 4 either, by our old friend Sudoku. Okay. I know there's a 1 here. Can we not do better than that? That's weird. What about this row? Is this somehow, there's a 6 over... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, look at this row. There's a 6 over here in this domino, so there's no 6 in any of those squares. So there is a 6 in this domino. Is it doing anything? Oh, yeah. Well, that does do something. Okay, there is a 6 in this domino. And if we come back to this line... This line's it starts with quite high digits. So there must be a 6 on this line, because it's going to reach down as far as 5. Even if this is a 7-8 pair, it's still got to then go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Although... Oh, I see. Yeah, this is good. Right, so now we know this has got a 6 on it. That 6 has to be in the same cells as the 5. And now... Look at this, you can't put 4 here. So this line is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's a 7, 8 or a 9. That's infuriating, it doesn't do anything. 6 in this column is up there, because 6 can't be in these squares or there. 1, 2, 3 and 9. So this square, which is not 1 or 3, is a 2 or a 9. But I think it can be either of those things, which feels most peculiar. Bother. I don't know what to do. Okay, well let's look at that square for a moment, because that square sees 7, 8, 9 on this renban. So that square can't be 7 or 8. That means it's 5 or 6, which means it forms a pair in the column. That means that square can't be a 5. So this is a 5, 6 pair. And I'm not sure what to do with this, I have to tell you. I'm also slightly... Oh, there's a 6 up here, I've just noticed. I'm slightly perturbed at the fact that most of my lines have now sort of fulfilled their usefulness, haven't they? It's very hard to see where we go from here. Is it... Oh, golly gosh, I don't know. If that's 5, there's a 5 down here. And that would put a 5 up there. If that's 2, there's a 2 down here, and that's fine. Or do we know something because we've got an 8 in one of these squares? I don't think so. 2, 6, 5. I don't see how to do it. I think I'm going to have to heavily pencil mark. I'm going to go 1, 7, 8, 9 into these squares. Do I know anything about this domino? Is there some necessity that, you know, one of these digits has a particular parity or something? I don't think there is. And in this row, look, we can see these squares are from 6, 7, 8 and 9. So there's 1 high digit here, 2 high digits here. We know there's a 4 and a 5 down here, and that's... Oh, that's it. No, it's not it. Why do I know there's a 4 and a 5 down here? I don't. There could be a 5 here. Oh, but where does... Oh, it's just that, is it? Where does 2 go in this box? Hang on, why couldn't I see that before? Yes, I see. Okay, if I did put a 2 here, there would have to be a 2 down here, and there can't be a 2 on this line. So this is the only place for 2 in box 7. That's been available for ages. I apologise. That's absolutely straightforward, and I was just being obtuse. Now, okay, what has that done to the world? That feels like that's a huge breakthrough. Now this has got to be the 2 in box number 8. And that's useful for the following reason. Come on, brain. Well, something. Look, in this line, this is all sorts of things are going on with this line. Yeah, that line's finished. It's a W pentomino that goes from here to here, and it's got to have a 5 on it. Oh, right. No, and it's got to have a 6 on it. And oh, this is lovely. Yeah, look at this line shape. And look at that digit. That digit sees the whole of that line. So there's no 4 on this line. And once there's no 4 on it, and it's 5 consecutive digits, we know what the digits are. That's got to be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quintuple. And these squares are not available to be 5 or 6. These very much are. But do they have to be, or could that be 5 or 6? If that's 5 or 6, that's 5 or 6. Oh, I don't... Oh, no, I was about to say, where does 1 go in this box? And that's not a good question. Because I think this can be 1. I think 1's got 2 possible homes, because it can't be in these squares. Oh, all right. I'll use that square. Okay, that's weird. That's weird that my brain can, does it in that order. But that square's a naked single. It benefits from exactly the same properties as this square, in the sense it sees the whole of that quintuple. So this square can't be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, but it also can't be 2, 3 or 4. So that's a 1. Ah, useless. Did nothing. There's now 1 in one of these 2 squares. Nah, I don't know. 5 is up here. We're resorting to Sudoku. What now? Is there something obvious? The 8's over there, so these don't include 8. There's definitely a 1 here. Golly gosh, I don't know. That digit has to appear on this renban, doesn't it? Because it's a high digit, so it's got to go there. So these 2 digits are the same. And that means, look, that those squares must include this digit, whatever it is. So these squares at the top are 5, 6, 7 and 8 only, which means 1 in this column has only 1 place, and that's there. Boom. That's a better deduction. Now there's got to be a 9 in this domino, along with whatever's not used up here. I don't know. And I've got a new line that's emerged from the fog. It can't bump into an old line, so it's got to turn upwards. And okay. It looks like it might be tricky for this line to get a 5 or a 6 on it. 5 in particular. Oh no, it can. No, I suppose that's not true, is it? It can do that, and it could get a 5 from here. Although then it couldn't have a 6 on it as well. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which might be. We might be able to rule that out for some reason, but my brain isn't telling me what that reason is. Naughty brain. Okay, 4 in this box. That's got to be up here, look. So 4 is placed in box number 6. Oh no, hang on, I've made a mistake, because that did not reveal... Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay, no, what I was thinking that the 4 couldn't go on this line. I've inadvertently revealed that it does go here. But I do not deserve to know that, so we're going to pencil mark instead this line as the 4 as being in one of these two positions. 6 has got to be up here. 5 has also got to be up here. Okay. Okay, I now see how to do this with some sort of reasonable logic. Where is 2 in row 5? Now it doesn't seem to be in these two squares, so it's in the same two squares that we've pencil marked that 4 into. But now let's have a look at this. Can this really be 2? If this has got an 8 on it? No, we've already looked at that. So that's got to be the 4. That's got to be a 2. It didn't reveal any fog, but I think that's still fine because I think that there was no fog to be revealed. Now, this can't have 9 on it because it's got 4 on it. So this is now a 7-8 pair in box number 9, and we've got a 1-3-9 triple at the bottom of the grid. Oh, which has been there for ages, actually. Oh, that would have been a much more straightforward way of doing anything. Once I got this 2, I could have written in this 1-3-9 triple, knock 9 off this line. Oh, but I wouldn't have known, actually, whether that was 9 or 4 at that point. So we still did need to do something, I think, with the 2. So there's a new line emerging here, which might have a 4 on it, because 4, well, 2 is over here, but 4 is up here. There's got to be a 5 on this line, which looks like it's coming from over there somewhere, although maybe it could even come from over there somewhere. This square's not a 1. And then we pause for thought, do we? I've gone quite ham on the pencil marking in this one. I hope you forgive me. What do we do now then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just wondering where this one can really get all its options from. Do we? Do I know anything about what digits are on any of these? It would be useful if we could lock either high or low digits off them. Where is... oh dear, I don't know. 4 is up here. 3 could be there, though, in box 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are very high digits again. No, I'm stuck. My brain is not revealing what I'm meant to do. Oh, okay. If this is a 7-8 pair, then this becomes a 6-9 pair. So that becomes 1, 7, 8. It's 1 and the digit that's not used here. So this digit and this digit are the same, and they appear in one of those two and one of these two squares. Is that somehow meant to trigger a thought? There's quite a lot of high digits in column 2, especially if that isn't a 1. Look, 2. I thought about 3. I don't know why I didn't think about 2. I've just thought about 2. Look at this box. Where did 2, 3 and 4 go? They've got to go in those squares. Good grief. Now, we must be able to do something with that. Yes. Aha. Where does that digit go in this box? And the answer is not on the line, because it's a 2 or a 3. So it's got to go there, and that's great. Because now 5 and 6 in this box have to be here, Ah, what did that do? I was trying to put 5 and 6 into those squares. So that can't be 5 or 6. And... oh no. Oh, I don't know. How can I not see how to do this? I'm going to start getting rid of pencil marks now. This is fascinating. It really is. Not knowing how these lines move under the fog. It really does. Oh, I've got a 2, 3, 4 triple here now. So these squares are 7, 8 and 9. That's going to... so that square's got to be a 3. Where has that come from? But it seems right, doesn't it? So this square is from 7, 8 and 9. Well, as is this square, I suppose. So there's 5 and 6 up here, and then some digit that's not used from 7 and 8 ends up down here along with the 9. And one of these digits is 7 or... yeah, okay. Oh no, that's not necessarily true either. I was wondering if we knew about the 9, but I don't think we do. I think it's possible the 9 is here, or the 9 is down here if that's the 9. So I can't do that either. Okay, what about this then? Because now we know there's a high digit on this one. Right, okay, so I think we can now... yeah, so I can now do something with the structure of this line. How could it not go into that square? It's got a high digit on it, so we now know it's got to have a 6 on it, and it's got to have a 5 on it. But the 5s and the 6s in these two boxes, they look to me like they've got to appear in these squares. Now these two are not lineable squares, so they've got to appear in those squares. So if this isn't a 5 or a 6, you could get that square onto this line, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You couldn't get any more squares onto it, so you get one of 5 and 6 and not both. So that is definitely on this line, which I think means the line has to do that, doesn't it? Because it doesn't branch. It doesn't also do that or anything like, but it could do that or that. But we know it, right, we know it needs to have 5 and 6 on it. So that must be one of those digits. That's a 5 or a 6. And either this one or this one is going to be the other of 5 or 6 that contributes to this line. Gosh, it would be important if you knew that if you knew the 4 was on this line, that would be really powerful. Or if you knew the line, I don't know. I can't quite get my head around it. I know this line has 5 and 6. So these cells are not from 5 and 6, but if that was a 7, these squares could be a 3-4 pair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to know more about these two squares. Oh, I'm sorry. If you can see how to do this, well done. But I can't quite see it at the moment. Can I do anything with these ones? This one then. This one feels a lot less... straightforward. Actually, okay, if we look at the top of column 4, that's marginally interesting. There must be one low digit on here, because in this column we've got one cell that's 2, 3 or 4. So I could make this a 2, 3 or 4, but there would still end up being a 2, 3 or a 4 on this line. Right, oh, nearly. Nearly. So 9 in this column only has 2 places. You can't put 9 on this because it must have a low digit on it. Which... wow. Okay. All right. I've got something. This is really very, very clever, and not of me, I hasten to add. No, but GDC. This is some serious setting that's going on here. Okay. I'm going to come back to this line. So I was thinking about 9 in this column, and that got me thinking about 9 in this column. Now, what we can't do here on this line, if this was a 9, we know that there's a 5-6 pair in 2 of those 3 squares on this line. So if this was a 9, that would be a 7-8 pair, and that's going to break this square here. So that is not a 9, which means there is now a 7-8 pair in this column. So what are these 2 digits? That is a question I want to ask, because if we were to make one of these cells 9, then we need to put 7 or 8 on the whatever this is. We need to put its other one on the line here, and that's not possible because 7 and 8 can't go in these squares. So there is no 9 on this line. So if this was 8, you couldn't put 7 on the line. So this must be 7. Bingo. And that's 8. And that's 7. And now these squares are not 7. This line, which we know has got a 5-6 pair in these 2 squares and can't have 8 on it, must have 3 and 4 on it as a pair here. Which, I don't know if that's going to matter, but I'm definitely putting that in. So 3, 4 pair. So this square here isn't 3. Okay, and that top square becomes a 1 or a 9, which is a bit disappointing. Ah, but there's a 3 here, and that makes this square a 9, which makes this square... I know where this is going. There's a 9 up here, but that's not the exciting thing. Okay, we'll do some work with that, but look. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we know that this is the 5 or the 6 to make this line have consecutive digits on it. We know that's now not 5 or 6. So, look. So this square is now a 9. That square's an 8. This square is a something. It looks like it's got to be a 7. That's cleared some fog. It's got rid of a 7 from here. So there's now a 7 in that domino. That's not a 7. That's probably done something. I can't see what. What are these squares? 1, 2, and 8. Let's just write all that in and see if it tells us anything more about the world. I don't know if it's going to. I've got nothing. I realise I've just stopped talking. I can't see what to do. What did we actually get from learning all of this? Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to come back to this column again, where I worked out the 9 was in one of 2 places. I've just proved it's not here. It couldn't be on this line because this line definitely contains a low digit, whatever this isn't. You know, if that was 2, you must have 3 or 4 on this line, or both. So that's got to be 9. That's not done anything. Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's rotten. Rotten puzzle. Oh, that's totally discombobulating. I thought that would be at least a little bit useful. It's done nothing. I mean, if there was a 7 or an 8 on this line as well as a low digit, it would at least That would at least be a little bit interesting. I mean, this line has to have a 4 on it, and it has to have a 5 on it. Oh, okay, that's probably important then, because I've suddenly realised that this square is not got any line in it. So we can't get to this square from this line, it would be too long. So the 5 on this, so this has to come into box 1 to get a 5. Wow, that does feel like a deduction that's at least worthy of thought. How do I use that to my advantage? Well, okay, where's 9 in this box? That's an easier question. It's got to go there, because we know it can't go on this line. So this line's disappearing into box 1. It's going that way. Yeah, okay. And now look at this box and ask where 9 is. And the answer is I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, but I do see it's not here. So it's in one of those squares. And the 9 in this box is in one of these squares. So we can ask where 9 goes in column 3. And it's got to be in one of these squares. And therefore it's got to be here, because it can't be in these 2 by Sudoku. So that's a 9. Okay, that's yielded a bit more knowledge about this line here, which we know has got a 5 on it in one of these 2 squares, because it can't have a 5 in either of those squares, and that's doing some things in box 3. So that's 5, that's 6, that's not 5, that's not 6. Actually, this one isn't 5 either, so let's make sure we're diligent about pencil marking. Oh, look, this column is all but done. I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple that's appeared. So the 5 can only go here. This has got to be the 6. 6. Ooh, 6 is not on this line. So this line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be huge, isn't it? That's probably going to finish the puzzle. Let's see. 1 isn't in these squares. Oh, it might not finish it, but it's doing something. I've got a 2, 3, 4 triple here. Okay, so this square is 7 or 8. That's a 7, 8 pair. So this digit is low, 1, 2, 3 or 4. We don't seem to know. Well, whatever this digit is, it's got to be in one of those 2 squares. Because it's got to appear on this line. I don't know how to quite resolve that. Come on, Simon. What's going on now? We could... Okay, there's a 5 in this domino and there's a 5 in this domino. So where's the 5 in column 1? It can't be in any of those 6 cells, so it seems to have to live in the corner down there. That's going to do things. I'm sure it's going to do things. Come on, do things. I've got a 7, 8 pair, so now I can get a 4 there. So this square's not a 4. 4 is in one of those 3 positions in box 1. And you see, if I can get rid of 1 from here, that would be a 2, 3, 4 triple. That would be a 1, 5 pair. I don't know. I don't know. What else? Oh, 6. All right. So it's now these dominoes in columns 1, 2, and 3. Look, there's a 6 here and a 6 here. So where's the 6 in column 3? It can only be there. So that's a 5. That's a 5 now. Okay. So that digit is now the same as that digit, isn't it? Because it clearly has to appear on this line somewhere. So that digit's not a 4. So this digit is in one of those 2 positions. There's a dot has appeared under the fog there. And in this column, there is a 7-8 pair. Right, that gives me a 7-8 pair in row 1. So what have we not put in? We've not put in 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is that all? Yes. Look, we've got all the high digits in row 1. So these squares are from 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's not 4. So we've got... Right, so 4 goes in the corner. So we don't get another 3 in the corner because there's a 1, 2, 3 triple in this row. 4 comes off the dot. The dot... Ah, yeah, okay, let's look at this dot for a moment, because look, it can't have a low digit on it. Because if it had a 1, 2 or a 3 on it, the other digit would also be from 1, 2 or 3, because it couldn't be 4, and that would put 4 digits in this box that have to be low. And there can't be 4 low digits from 1, 2 or 3. You will necessarily repeat one of them. So this, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous, because now it's got to have 2 digits from 6, 7 and 8 on it. So it must have 7 on it, however you pick them, and that's going to fix that digit. So that's 8, that's 7, that's 8, that's 7, that's 8, that's 7. Okay, so these squares are now 1, 8 pair. Let's tidy that up and see if it does anything. 8 is now here, so this is a 6, 7 pair. That's all it can be. So that's 6, that's 7, that's 8. This square here is 1, 2 or 3. So we've got a 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoopsie. We've got a 1, 2, 3 triple in this column, which means that's 8. That's going to finish the fog. Boom. Okay, so that's not 8. This is 6, 7. It's 7 or 9 only, because it can't be 6. So 6, I see. So 6 in this column is finished, isn't it? That would have been the simple way of doing that. But it's not the way I saw. That's now an 8 by Sudoku. So that's 9, that's 7, that's 9. This is 7. This is a 2 or a 3. Wow, okay. How is this not finished? That's terrifying. It must be, okay, is it 8s or something? 8, 8, that's an 8. So this square here is a 1 or a 2. That square is a 1 or a 2. What's going on? I don't know. It's just going to be some simple Sudoku that I've missed here, I'm afraid. No, it's not actually. Oh, this is beautiful. I don't know if this is probably not necessary, but I'm going to show you it because I've just seen it. This square, let's just give that a quick green flash for a moment. Where does that go? It's a low digit, so it has to appear on this renban. Well, it can't be in any of those squares, so it's got to be that one. But by Sudoku, green now has to be in one of those squares, and it's a 1, 2, 3 or 4. Well, it can't be 4 or 1 because those can't be both in these squares. So that square is also green, and the only digit you can see that goes into all of those squares is the digit 2. That's the only one that works. I don't know, that probably was unnecessary, but it was rather pretty, wasn't it? So we might as well do it. So that's now 1. This is a 3, so that's a 3, that's a 1. 3 therefore filters through there. This is now 3, that's 2, that's 2, that's 3. That's finished. That's finished it off. That's beautiful. That is such a beautiful puzzle. Well, it's got a huge solve count. I am not surprised. It took me a while, 62 minutes. I'd love to know how hard, if I just made a ricket there. I felt like my Sudoku was poor. But some of the steps were absolutely beautiful. I mean, the way I loved the start. Actually, I really loved that couldn't be a 3. I know that was really simple, but just not having double 4 there was beautiful. I love the fact that these 3 lines emerged from the fog as a unit, and I could instantly see they couldn't join together. I loved some of the ideas at the top about having to think about where 5s or 6s go on the line and how that would allow you to sort of plot where the lines must then travel underneath the fog. And I really like the idea with 9s in these two cards. There was loads in this. There was loads of ideas. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. GDC, take a bow. Brilliant puzzle. And let me know how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.